All right, wanted to show a few things real quick with regards to like snubbies versus semi-autos and wings or not. So when you take something like this bird, a cheetah, it's flat and it sits against the body relatively flat. You look at the snubby, one of the benefits we have is the curved shape of the grip. It tucks in a little better. But the other thing you see is, try to show a little bit better here, the front of the gun is much thicker than the back, which in turn pushes the front of the gun out. If you take the front of the gun out, you bring the grip inward. So again, let's look back here. Yeah, it sits flat. You take something like the snubby here, and you put the cylinder on, the stack of books up here, and the trigger guard is touching, and we've got a pretty good amount of rotation. So with that little bit of rotation, that's why I'm not a big fan of putting a wing on these kind of holsters initially. And when you go and try to find a good way to show this, if you stack up, the tops of each of the guns, the extra width of the snubby, you can see is pretty substantial. If we were to go place a wing, it'd be right where my pointer finger is. That makes that holster that much wider, and that gives you much more area for the force of your belt due to tension and movement to push the whole thing inward. Generally speaking, making things wider will tend to do that. So we're just trying to balance everything. We want to balance the width of the overall holster. We want to balance the amount of stuff that sticks out. So that's why treat it like a good meal. Try it first. And then if you got to add salt or pepper or whatever, do the same. Try the holster as is before you go and start adding half a yoga block and a bunch of pads. One, it's cheaper right off the bat. You might find that it just works. It's one of the things in probably 15, 16 years now of having the Apollo snubby holster relatively plain. Probably most of them work just fine as is, and it's not just ours. JM Harry's. Yes, I know some of the Filster City Specials come with the wings on them, but some of the early ones, I don't know if they did or not. But try it without first, and if you have one and you have some problems, maybe try taking the wing off. That may mitigate the problems you have. But yeah, that's kind of how we look at things. And like I said, you can see it here. Did some math a while ago. It's like 8 degrees or so. At least on the one we looked at. I'll have to take some pictures and see what this particular one does for us.